Alrighty, Amber, it's been a lovely chatting with you off the screen here. We spoke about the role, the duties it entails, and then my client's expectations. Now, Amber, I want to go ahead and kickstart this interview. So I'll start off and I'll kind of highlight your resume. So going based upon your resume, Amber, you have about 6 years of experience in customer service, right? Roles from receptionist, front desk, you've done dispatching, customer service, etc. Now, I want to go ahead and give you the mic because I don't want to talk for you, but go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about you.
So I started working at Seminole State College
Mhm.
as an assistant for one of the professors. He has a doctoral degree, and I worked with him for a year and a half for his science. He's a science professor. Um, so that's where I started off with, I guess, customer service. But with his job, I had to learn Excel, Microsoft. I had to learn how to move clients' information to another panel or to another page, or edit it, or move the numbers, or you know the
Mhm.
dates. From there, my dad also has a business called Rick Renovation. I help him out too, uh like phone calls, booking it, paychecks, pay books, and everything. And then my recent job was Frank A Services as a dispatcher. With them, I would have to contact AC, plumbing, or technician services, and ask them like how far they were from the appointment. We have a customer calling asking how far you were. I would have to deal with a lot of pressure with the customers, and it was a lot, but it like kind of helped build me a little bit. Um, I also had to call customers and ask them if they were okay with making an appointment for a free service, a free checkup for AC. And that was hard too. That was a lot of pressure because, a lot of people don't want to be on the phone, and they don't want to like be asked, oh, can I get help with my AC? They're like, oh, I just did that last month. Why do I have to do it again? So, that's kind of hard, but I like fought through it. I worked through it, and like everything was just okay.
Amazing. Now, as far that was your most recent role, was that right? Being a dispatcher, or I'm sorry, being customer service for Frank Gay. Now, with that, I want to know as far as systems you've used. I know that you mentioned off the call you completed was it a
Oh,
course, or tell me about that.
okay, so I last semester for spring semester I had a class called Computer Applications,
Mhm.
and I learned PowerPoint, Excel, Microsoft. I had to download everything on my computer. At one point during the class, they told me I couldn't use my Mac computer anymore because Mac is not like you can't use Mac for Microsoft and Excel. You can't. Like Mac is not, it won't help. They don't
Okay.
have all the things on there. Yeah. So I had to like go into my school to do it on the HP computer. Yeah, the HP computer to do everything. And it taught me like a lot of easy ways how to fix numbers. So like if it's a list saying um your
Is this
name.
for Excel? Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
I can use you for an example. So like it'll
Mhm.
say Jarlene, I don't want to say your name wrong. Jarlene Gonzalez. Yes. It'll say like your name, and then it'll say like you ordered 5 things, and then your total is like 1,000 for example. I can like drag the corner of the box down, and it'll put everything from everything that you're getting. Like it's so many like easy tips. It just showed me so many things that I can just learn that like, okay, this is easy. I can
That's
get this.
amazing.
And
It
I
sounds like formula. Is it formulas on
yes,
Excel?
yes.
That's cool. That's amazing. And that's definitely a necessity, like I told you earlier, right? It's a necessity to have those Excel skills for this particular role. Now, you explained how you also have that direct communication with the customers, or over at Frank Gay, you had a direct communication. So you can easily transfer those skills with communicating with this client's vendors.
You're right.
Now, with that, now if let's see here. I want to know, right? Because with a role such as this, there can be a lot of tasks to do at once. So how do you keep yourself organized throughout the day?
Um, if it's okay, with Bavini or Bashel, I would like to have like a mini planner with me or like a mini book just so I can like make notes. I do like to do that even when I was working at Frank Gay and when I worked at Seminole State College. I like to write my notes down. So if we have huddles in the meeting, I'm not sure how they do it, but if they have huddles in the meeting, like, okay, guys, we need to have 500 vendors that we need to get done today. We need to make sure we contact them. And then they give us a list like, okay, I need you to make sure you do this first and then call this and make sure this is here. Check, make sure this is all these items, like, the basics. I can write it down, have it in my journal just to make sure that, okay, I'm going to get this done. And if I remember, Bavina walked up to me and said, hey, I need you to make sure you get these out and you call the vendors. I would make sure that, okay, I would call the vendors first and then make sure that I can have them out, make sure that everything's put together. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I'm definitely positive that I'm sure they'll allow you to take your notebook or your planner. I mean, right, it's what's going to organize you and ultimately help your success and their success in the long run. So absolutely, I'm sure they'll be open to that. Now, I want to emphasize, because I know that you don't have direct purchasing experience. However, you have the equivalent experience to where you can transfer your skills and apply them to this particular role. I also would love to know, and this is a question, right? But if I were to go back and I were to connect with your previous employer and I was like, tell me about Amber, explain her work ethic, what would you believe they would say about that?
So I'm a team player. When I worked I'm sorry, I keep bringing up Frank Gay, but when I worked at Frank Gay, if I would see, so we would have a list, like a screen, and we would see like different colors, who's where, who's here, who can we call. So we would always sit in a room. So it was like a bedroom, like a office, but like it was a lot of desks and everybody had their own desk. And I would ask them like, hey, is anybody working on plumbing, or hey, is anybody working on AC? I'm gonna take this call. This customer is asking about Q Miller, somebody that works there, Q Miller, for example. And I can take it if nobody's working on it because I'm not doing anything. That's what I would do. So I'm a teamwork player and I always make sure that I get things done. I'm respectful. I worry about my time. I do make sure that I get everything done in time. And I do always ask like for help. So like if it comes down to something I don't know, that like what I'm doing, I don't want to ask like a coworker of mine. I'd rather go to somebody that's higher than me, unless they say like, oh, you don't need, like Bhavani or Bashel, unless they say I don't need to ask them and I can just ask somebody else on the floor, then that's different. But I would always ask, someone higher than me, just to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong, just so everything is like perfect. I wouldn't say perfect, but I do like everything to be perfect.
Yes, that was extremely well said, Amber. Well, I want to go ahead and cut this interview short here now. My only last question is going to be is, when are you looking to start a new opportunity?
I honestly want to start as soon as possible. If like you guys wanted to start me like Monday, that would be great. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Amber, it's been a pleasure speaking to you once again. I'm going to go ahead and stop the interview. Don't hang up on me quite yet. I want to continue chatting with you really quickly. Thank you.